It was a bit daunting. I found a lump. I made the call to the doctor, and instead of telling me what was going on, they've kind of referred me back to my doctor. I'm one of those people that I'm in the parking lot, dialing for the doctor and finding the right person and asking, who would you see? Who would you see? Because, again, it never, ever crossed my mind that I could have breast cancer. So you become in that fight or flight mode. And I can remember thinking the very first thing out of my mouth was, I don't have time for this. I just don't have time. I'm Tammy Ratliff from Dixon, Tennessee, and I'm an 18-year breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed in 2005, and look at this, it's 2025, and I'm still here. I'm very grateful for the proxemics to great doctors in Nashville that we have. Nobody ever told me in my lifetime I could get cancer. It didn't run in my family. So to be given that diagnosis at age 39 was pretty shocking, considering I had had a baseline at 38 mammogram and didn't show a thing. It was a bit daunting. I found a lump. I made the call to the doctor, and instead of telling me what was going on, they've kind of referred me back to my doctor. I'm one of those people that I'm in the parking lot, dialing for the doctor and finding the right person and asking, who would you see? Who would you see? Because, again, it never, ever crossed my mind that I could have breast cancer. So you become in that fight or flight mode. And I can remember thinking the very first thing out of my mouth was, I don't have time for this. I just don't have time. When I went for an exam, I was fortunate in that somebody was very diligent and laid out all the options A to Z for me, very clearly, concisely, and helped me decide actually right then and there what I wanted to do. For me, my choice, given all the indicators, was a lumpectomy and radiation and maybe some chemo, because nobody imagined that it was, anything large or grand because it had not been picked up previously. Once they got in there, we had some lymph node involvement, and I just remember people saying, oh my gosh, don't let it be in your lymph nodes. But it was in quite a few of mine. They took 15 nodes out, and it was in 13. And I wasn't quite prepared for that. I remember going home and thinking, I'm going to kick the bucket this week. I've got to start giving my things away. Who's going to get this? What's going on? And I just had to get a hold on things and understand that I was going to be in for a long haul. Wise doctors, wise meds, and a very supportive husband who went to every treatment with me, brought me any kind of food I wanted, baked and made anything he could do for me to be supported, and it got me through those. I had a great work team that included me still, even though I was out of the office. They allowed me to participate on conference calls, and they didn't forget about me. And I think that really contributed to my fighting to get back to my routine and my sense of normal. And I was fortunate. I had many years where I didn't have any treatment at all, and the cancer was in remission. But I went about 8 years. And then we'd have the same cancer pop up somewhere else. And my oncologist was great in that we would just start another treatment round and knock that one out. And we've done that 3 or 4 times. And I'm just so grateful. You don't have to be cured from cancer right away because, unfortunately right now we don't have one. You just gotta stay around until the next treatment, because so many medications that are out now weren't out in 2005 and 2006. Back then they gave everybody the same medication, one size fits all. That's why we didn't have a cure. But in time we've gotten to where we look at things differently and look for the differences, and we have a better understanding of what medication might work better for one person and not another. And it's the growth of those targeted therapies that have enabled me to try different medications and new medications be created that are helping us all survive. When I go to the chemo center, I'm a frequent flyer. I keep a lot of people employed. I'm actually in a regimen every 3 weeks, and then I have about a 10-day downtime. When I'm there, I've seen people complain they have to wait. And there are a lot of people in chairs, and it's a long day. But for those people, I asked them, I said, isn't this wonderful. And they said, no, look at all these people with cancer. I said, yes, but they're living with cancer. I mean, how phenomenal is that? I'll take a crowded chemo center any day of the week, seeing people fighting and thriving and getting medication and you holding on and you're full of hope versus an empty one. There's more people living with cancer than ever, and we don't have to have the cure today, but just one more targeted therapy that helps people, and just till another one comes around. I advise people all the time, hang in there with your doctor. What worked for me might not work for you, but there's reasons, and I'm so glad that they're looking now at the composition of cancer and getting more personalized and targeted, and I think that's gonna be a game changer. It's already proven to be. I mean, I think living proof of that. I think I'm a very determined person. I just didn't feel it was my time. And I can remember even telling my husband's family saying, I did not marry that man to leave him. So do not worry. And I had such determination. It may happen one day, but not today. The morning of my lumpectomy, a nurse came in and held my hand because they actually use a needle and inject a dye into your breast, and they really don't numb it. It hurts, I'll tell you that. She held my hand and told me to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. She'd never met me from anyone. Nobody prepared me for what was coming. She said, just hold on to me. And it did hurt. And then I got the injection that I needed. Here was this perfect stranger comforting me, not wanting me to experience the pain and to say she was with me. There's a retreat for men and women who've experienced cancer recently, in the past, in treatment, out of treatment, whatever, in the greater Nashville area. It's actually across the country. Everyone there is a volunteer outside of the patients. And the first time that I went to that camp, I cried so much in awe of all these people that would take days off from work, because they take like 4 days, whether it's nurses, some doctors, there were nursing students, there were just people who'd walk the walk, that they would take the time to come see me and help me, get over some bumps, and maybe help me learn to breathe again and to live life, and to show me it was okay to laugh. And the emotions that I had were just so overwhelming, because I didn't realize the burden on my shoulder, the weight of it. I was keeping it all together for everybody. And then I got to go around these people, and it's still to this day. Like I said, I was with 50 of them, 100 of us total this weekend. And we get together twice a year, and it should be a prescription, honestly. Now I'm more like looking at the beauty within people that shines when they come out of their shell, when they are complimented, when you see a cancer patient smile because her hair is coming back and you remember what it was like without it, or you're encouraging them to try something new. Put your lipstick on, get your nail polish, put your earrings on, whatever makes you comfortable. But don't change who you are thinking you've got to step into a mold of someone that is, quote, sick. You're getting your normal back, whether it's, like I said, nails, jewelry, whatever. You find that again, because you don't stop doing that. And I think that contributes to a lower self-image when you totally change and kind of succumb to something that that labels you different than you were before. Let your light still shine through it. You're gonna get through it, and find your people. At the beginning, everyone gets to that 5-year, or we want to get to that 5-year mark. It's in medicine, they statistically used to say if you got 5 years, that's a really good thing. And it gets pushed out more and more with medications. Whether it's, years, months, days, it doesn't make a difference. Celebrate, what is important to you. The anniversary of your diagnosis, or your cancerversary, as some people call it. I think there's many ways to celebrate instead of look at it as a negative thing. At our house, like I said, we try to be thankful for every day, and just put one foot in front of the other and keep on going and keep on planning, and what will be, and we don't hold back from doing things. We even got to go to Hawaii a couple of years ago, but it doesn't have to be that big. It can be something very minor, I think that's why I don't get this hung up on the years or the time. It's one day, every day, and I plan it just as if there's nothing else going on, and my father was the same way. He, went big or didn't do it at all. Don't sit around thinking of what we can't do. Let's just plan our normal things. What will be, will be. For anybody. you.